Hello everyone, Kitty Foss here, your storytelling astrologist, reader of the stars for August 7th and into Lionsgate, August 8th. So let's pay attention a little bit to what August 7th is setting up for this Lionsgate energy, and then I'll touch on that energy really very specifically. So we have our moon in Capricorn that will be with us most of the day and move into Aquarius at 9:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today we know that our larger picture, and if, by the way, if you've had any kind of physicalness today or real spiritual or auric kind of feelings of something not being quite right or ill or off center, that is about getting ready for this Lionsgate. If you've had any of this physical issues today, it's aligning you in a new balance. That's really important to understand as we venture into Lionsgate. For us, it's a very active role physically and mentally, looking at where you might be holding onto structures that just you haven't signed up for, that just are not for you anymore. And that clearly showing you that the private energy is not a match in this structure for what you need with your private energy. This is a pretty chaotic feeling, and it's really important, and not but. So remember, when you use and, both things are true, so you have an opportunity to choose with intention what you will be paying attention to, and be showing you the changes in the larger picture by looking at all the parts today moving together and how they work together. So this energy that Uranus and Gemini is bringing to the table, which is also a part of tomorrow, wants to look at how those parts, all that technological piece, all of the parts of us, that DNA, how are they working together, and what are we doing that maybe isn't in alignment for us or starting to show up for. As the moon moves into Aquarius, you'll have a preview of the new structure for you that is stepping forward, and for the earth. So let's talk about the 8-8 portal. It's called Lionsgate. It's when Sirius, or Sirius, however you say it, the star, which is about fame and fortune and spiritual illumination and guidance, is working with our sun, which is the engine that moves us forward. And it's this Aquarian moon that is moving us forward, getting ready for a full moon on the 9th. It really is about moving us forward in what we want to create, what spiritual illumination, guidance. And when you look at fame and fortune, it's more about your presence in the world versus, we're really starting to look at how many words we have in our vocabulary that are connected to money, a source outside of ourselves of value, versus our internal, what we cherish, what we honor, what is all a part of us. And so what this Lionsgate portal allows us to move forward. So first I'm going to talk about what's happening with Mars. Mars that's newly in Libra. And Mars in Libra really is about a very active role physically and mentally, trying to align what will bring us balance, what is part of our relationship, what is the relationship with ourself. And it is working in the background with that Gemini energy that is Uranus. So really, again, looking at how are those pieces fitting together, how am I aligning my will, what am I asking of this portal energy that we've been leading up to and will continue until just past the 11th, that I want to put in to illuminate, for guidance, for abundance of joy, abundance, fortune, fame, whatever it is that you are seeking and how you look at. There are understandings coming forth, understandings being perhaps beliefs you've held that you're ready to let go of, that whole entity, that whole being, to be disassociated. Again, we've just come out of this Capricorn moon energy, whatever the structure is, and then there are new realizations, new beings, energies that we're coming into, and that's working in the background. Though it feels chaotic, it is a great awakening, that Mars working with Gemini. And it is interestingly enough, Mars is in an opposition, so it's that teeter-totter energy going back and forth that is wanting us to find this new structure we've started with our Saturn placement, this new structure of how are we going to be in our authenticity, because a lot of what's happening with our retrograde planets not only are having us look internally, but really take a look at our authenticity. So something a little different today, something I used to do more often. I'm going to read and see what they tell me on this video. I've been doing a lot of writing and channeling, but they were very clear for me to take a look. So I'm going to be talking about the rest of the moon placements. So the moon is the moon in Aquarius is activating spirit, in that embodiment of spirit. So Saturn and Neptune and Aries have both been traveling together. This is one of the first days in a very long time I see that they're in a different aspect, and they're in the aspect of spirit activating your vision, what is revolutionary, pushing you beyond in this new embodiment that spirit, this new cycle it's taking. It is working too with that very Pluto energy, Pluto that is in Aquarius. So it's that Aquarian moon and that Aquarian Pluto transforming your vision. What you're literally putting into the portal is an acting for that guidance, that transformation, that illumination that's going to step forward. Please take care of yourself physically tomorrow and make sure that you ground and then ground again and then ground so that you can receive and still be here to process. That moon is in an opposition, though, with our Mercury internally. So it isn't a conversation that we're having with ourselves or experiencing that is bringing us. We're looking for a midpoint in that vision. And so pay attention again to your language, taking care of yourself, grounding yourself, understanding that you are here to experience it, not control it, not think about it, but literally experience what it is. Here's that Leo energy that Mercury is in an opposition of a day of Leo, 8-8, that wants you to experience and find that midpoint with your vision. The moon isn't even in a conversation with our Venus energy that's in Cancer, nor our Jupiter energy that's in Cancer. So though it's always the moon, so there's always a nurturing component with this Aquarian moon, it isn't about what you know to be relationships, what you know to be value, I don't even like the word value, what you know to be, what you honor. This is something completely different in this portal, and it isn't necessarily you're seeing the expansion. It's working separately, so you have the opportunity to tune in to that structure that's in an opposition with your will. Really what you're doing is sitting with this chaotic energy, sitting with this portal and receiving, as well as spirit knows what you want. So it's really asking you to tune in and find out what your next actions are going to be, because the very next day is that full moon in Aquarius where we forgive, we let go, and we express what we honor and cherish, and the things that we acknowledge are gifts for ourselves. A lot of energy. Please take care of yourselves tomorrow. Nurture yourself in your grounding. I'm Kitty Foss, your storytelling astrologist. Happy Lionsgate tomorrow. Namaste.